it sounds like, as a child, it was just like, well, Stevie, you'll be writing songs. And, I had no idea I was going to be able to do this or that I was going to be a songwriter or anything. All I knew was, as a small kid, I grew up in a very musical family. And on my mother's side, everybody in the family were musicians. And in the 20s and 30s, my uncles, I had an uncle who was a hot jazz violinist who played in the Paul Whiteman Orchestra. And I had another uncle who was a guitar player and another uncle who was a banjo player. And my grandmother played piano. And everybody, my mother and all her sisters, it was a large family, 7 kids, they all sang. So we always sang harmony. We started with Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and as little kids. And then Les Paul and Mary Ford came. We lived in Milwaukee at the time, and they came to Milwaukee to put their act together before they went to New York to start a television show. And they worked in a nightclub. It was called Jimmy Fazio's Supper Club, and Les will remember it well. I was about 4 years old, and my dad had a tape recorder. And my uncle had already come to the house and had brought this beautiful little Gibson guitar, this little arch-top guitar. I still have it. And I fought my older brother for it. I got my hands on it and just started making up songs, just sort of was born to do that part. And my dad took me to this nightclub to see Les Paul and Mary Ford. And they were working for 6 weeks in this club just to put their act together before they went to New York. And Les was the funniest guy in the world. He was the greatest guitar player. He was so good that every guitar player in the world that was within 150 miles would come wherever, shows were all sold out. And I was just sitting there watching this going, man, this really looks like fun. I want to do this, And so watching Les Paul play was amazing. And all these musicians were always coming over to the house. Red Norvo, Tal Farlow, great jazz guitar players. Charles Mingus was a regular at the house. And there were all these parties going on, and they were having great fun. And I was, peeking, down the stairs watching all these guys come and play. And I thought that was great. So that was pretty much the beginning, of the idea of playing music is really fun.